All right, we are back with some more baseball content as we approach Major League Baseball's opening day, the beginning of the season in 2025. We've actually had some games already happen under our belts with the Dodgers and Cubs in Japan playing in the Japanese series. I guess we got a couple games. It's not going to affect these ratings. This is Major League Baseball's center field tier ranking list. And if you know ball, then you know the tiers on this list. You know all the center fielders in Major League Baseball, and we're going to be ranking them today based on shout out Jacob Bolanos on the Tier Maker website. Went through the trouble of obviously putting the headshots of all 30 starting Major League center fielders this year, and we're going to be putting them into 5 different categories: elite, all-star, good, and trash. I got some hot takes that I'm probably going to be dropping in here. Let me know in the comments before, during, and after how you feel about this ratings list. Going to be taking the final saved screenshot, as you can see here, with the save or download button, posting that on social media, and I'm going to be ranking all these guys. Again, it's not in necessarily a particular order in terms of if there's multiple guys in a category, but that's why I like this ranking system, because you don't have to go 1 through 30. There's multiple guys that are all-star caliber that deserve to be all-star caliber players. They don't need to be all-star caliber, but so-and-so is the 12th and then the 13th. A lot of people see the numbers and think that the gap between those guys is big. The gap between the 6th ranked and the 10th ranked is huge, when in reality, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all all-star caliber. So that's the point of this, and that's why I like these rankings. And not even rankings necessarily, just categorizations of these individual players. And I'm going to be going through each guy, giving a little bit of background. I'm not going to go through and spend each guy, 10 minutes a piece. Certainly could in some capacity. And this is based on what I know, the numbers, and kind of the vibe. So we're going to go through each guy. I'm going to tell you who they are. If you don't know who they are, let's dive into it. Starting off, and we're just going to go in order of this list. Looks like it's American League East first, then the Central, then the West, then the NL East, then the NL Central, and then the NL West. So we'll start at the top with the presumptive Yankees center fielder for this season, Cody Bellinger. Bellinger, to me, is a fascinating piece because obviously at his peak, he was an MVP. He had some struggles after that, including the year of COVID. That was weird for everybody, but he had a bit of a resurgence last year, hit over 300, changed his two-strike approach, cut down on the swing and miss. I think if he continues that, and especially if he continues that while he's on the Yankees, he will be considered an all-star caliber player. I got Cody Bellinger, Yankee center fielder, all-star caliber. Up next, Ceddanne Rafaela from the Red Sox. Younger guy, a little bit undersized, does have a great hit tool. He can run. He plays good defense. The pop isn't necessarily there and probably never will be, but I don't think he's and I don't think he's trash. So we're going to put Rafaela in the category of continuing in the AL East here. Dalton Varsho, Toronto Blue Jays center fielder. I'm going to be honest with you guys. When that trade happened between the Blue Jays and the Arizona Diamondbacks, the exchange was for Varsho to go from Arizona to Toronto. Toronto sent Gabriel Moreno to Arizona. I didn't know what to make of that because Varsho had been playing really well in Arizona, and I was more aware of him as a Padres fan, saw him more often. Then you had the Gabriel Moreno acquisition for the D-backs, and he's been awesome. Varsho has not been great for the Blue Jays. Also, the Blue Jays have just had weird and honestly kind of uncharacteristic, weird vibes, negative vibes, haven't played well. And I think that's impacted Varsho, but I am going to put him in the category. I think he's got okay pop. He's got okay speed. He's got okay defense. I think he's an player. I wouldn't call him good. So, but he's also not trash. So would be the category. Johnny DeLuca on the Tampa Bay Rays. Again, it's a guy, seemingly the common denominator between all these guys is speed, right? You got to play center field. If you play center field, you're going to have some semblance of speed. And typically the guys who can run may sacrifice a little bit of power on the back end with the offensive hitting tool. Luke is one of those guys. I'm also going to put him in the category. I don't think he's complete trash, but I don't think he's good quite yet. Cedric Mullins, Baltimore Orioles center fielder, all-star not too long ago, had a breakout season, and then has since kind of been taken over by everybody else in Baltimore. He's not a bad player. He was an all-star, and then, if this is a year after an all-star campaign, or he maintained somewhat standards of that all-star caliber play, I might put Cedric in the all-star or good category. Unfortunately, at this point, I think he's an player. I do think he's got the tools. I do think last year was a bit of a down season for him. But Cedric, in the meantime, I'm going to need him to do something, to prove me otherwise. On to the AL Central, Byron Buxton, center fielder. Now, first off, it's hard for me to even put him in the center fielder category because I know he plays center, but he DHs, I feel like, just as often. And besides playing center field and DHing, he spends half the season on the injured list every single year. I'm not wishing for that. I'm not celebrating that. I'm just quite simply stating Byron Buxton cannot, for some reason, play a full season. And because of that, I would either have him in elite or all-star if he were to just sit down, find a way to play 150 games. But in the meantime, I'm going to put him in the good category because he is good. His tools are all-star or elite caliber, but he needs to play more in order to be all-star or elite in terms of ranks in center fielders. Luis Robert and the White Sox. Not going to spend much time on him, but I think he's good. He has all-star potential. He has elite potential. But he also goes through these really rough stretches in the outfield where his defense sputters a little bit. His offense sputters a little bit. The tools are there to be all-star, to be elite. But until he consistently produces at that level, can't put him there. But he is good. And he's not and he's not trash. He is good. Parker Meadows. Parker Meadows, to me, honestly, he's not an all-star. He's not elite. He had a bit of a emergence last year, as did his entire team in Detroit with a bunch of young guys that played their butts off in Detroit. Parker Meadows, taller, lankier, has the tools, has the exit velo. I'm going to put him in the good category. Some would say, I would disagree. I think the ceiling for Parker Meadows is high, but I will also say the ceiling is probably in the good category. I don't know if he has an all-star caliber season in him. I don't think he'll ever be elite, but I do like him in the good category. Kyle Isbell in Kansas City. You look through the Kansas City Royals lineup, he's probably their 5th, 6th, or 7th best hitter. That's not necessarily a massive knock on him, but Isbell overall, I'm going to put him in the category. He's not trash. He is just Moving on, Lane Thomas, acquired by Cleveland, came through with some clutch hits last year in the postseason for them. But my knock with Lane is that he has all the tools, he has the pop, he played well in Washington, and yet his numbers still just don't jump off He's an average first guy. He's kind of profiles as a contact hitter, as does, I think, a lot of these guys in this category. But ultimately, I'm going to put Lane Thomas in the category. He's not complete, but he's Up next, into the AL West, Julio Rodriguez. A lot of people are going to put Julio, if they're making this list, in the elite category. I am not going to do that. He has the tools, the capabilities, the profile to be an elite center fielder. Defensively, he's good. He's got a great arm, some serious pop. But for some reason last year, he sputtered pretty badly with the bat. That doesn't mean he's going to get knocked from elite to good. I do think he's an all-star. I think the talent, the tools are always going to play. They're always going to level the playing field a little bit, but he's not elite. He has the elite tools, but he's not elite yet. He was getting beat by high velo last year. He was getting beat by all kinds of breaking balls down and away. The swing path got really long. He had like really bad 3-week stretches repeatedly during the season last year, but he found a way to level it and put up somewhat decent numbers. I just think he's got to be a little bit more consistent. The offense has got to be a notch higher, and then he slides right into that elite category. Evan Carter on the Rangers. So Evan Carter obviously had that like emergence of his somewhat rookie year when the Rangers won the World Series. He was a big piece of that team. He was like hitting in the middle of the order. Then he came out last year and didn't play well. He was looking to be trending into the elite category by his 3rd year. Then he dropped from elite to all-star to good to now, in my opinion, based on what we saw last season, I'm going to put him in the category. He can earn his way up or down out of that. And by the end of the season this year, he very well could find himself in the good or all-star category. But right now, he is JJ Bleday. All right. JJ Bleday in not Oakland, not Vegas, but also we can't say Sacramento, or at least they don't want you to. Too bad. Who cares? I'm going to say it. The Sacramento A's. JJ Bleday has the tools. The A's are not a good team. Typically, even if the guy's really good and has the great tools and he's on a bad team, the numbers are not going to be great. I don't think he's elite. I don't think he's an all-star. He is good, but not good consistently enough. I'm going to put him in the category. Jake Myers. Jake Myers on the Astros. Interesting guy. He's kind of been there for a while. He's kind of easily lost in that lineup, or at least he was when they had Correa and Altuve and Jordan and Kyle Tucker. Like, he was at times the second or even third best outfielder they had on the field. Now he has to slide into that more predominant climb up the order role. Maybe he's going to be hitting sixth, fifth this year. He's got good tools, but he's a righty center fielder who runs pretty well, just like a lot of the guys in this group. I'm going to put him in the category. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I think he's got a good hit tool. I think he hits the ball, makes contact, puts the ball in play. The power's not great. He's just a middle of the pack kind of guy for me. Jo Adell. Okay, so Jo Adell in Anaheim is taking over the center field role pretty much officially from Mike Trout. So Mike Trout's moving center field to right. If Trout was on this list, I put him in the all-star category despite his injuries. Doesn't matter. He's always going to get the benefit of the doubt for me. Let's look up Jo Adell's stats. Before I really think about doing what I want to do for him, I'm going to look at his stats for last season. So negative 0.6 WAR. Oh, that's his career. Last season, he had a 0.9 WAR, which is better. But the 682 OPS and the 91 OPS plus, for me, based on the expectations and where this guy was supposed to be as a higher prospect, I'm going to put him in the trash category. It doesn't make me happy to do that. I liked Jo Adell coming up. I thought he'd be a really solid player in the Angels lineup and he would develop. But again, looking through his career so far, 2021, 89 OPS plus, 2022, 78 OPS plus, 2023, 88 OPS plus, and last year, his best year as a professional, 91 OPS plus. He hasn't done it yet, and he hasn't gotten above a 91 OPS plus, so his best is 9% worse than league average. I'm sorry, but I would consider that to be. He has the tools on defense, and he also has like crazy stupid pop in terms of he runs into a ball, potential to hit a ball close to 500 feet, like literally. But too much swing and miss, not enough consistency. So I'm going to put him in the trash category. Joe, I'm sorry, and I hope he earns his way out of that. Michael Harris, onto the National League. Michael Harris, Atlanta Braves. He's an all-star. He's an all-star. He's an all-star. He's an all-star. He's not just good. He's an all-star. Michael Harris has been awesome for the Atlanta Braves. He's been able to not just fill in, but fill in very well at a high level at the top of the order. When Ronald Acuna's gone down, when other guys in their lineup have gone down. For a lot of last season, Michael Harris was the catalyst for the Atlanta Braves lineup. He would hit at the top, and after him, yes, there'd be Olsen and potentially an Albies type guy. Albies was banged up. Olsen was around, or Austin Riley was hurt. Ronald Acuna was hurt. They just didn't quite have the same group, and that's not anybody's fault. But the point I'm getting to is that Michael Harris had to step up, or was asked and forced to step up, frankly, and he did. Michael Harris is an all-star. Brandon Marsh. All right, Brandon Marsh on the Phillies. It's a tough one because the Phillies are good. I don't think Brandon Marsh is that good. I don't think he's the worst player of all time. I don't think he's trash. I think he's I think he's an caliber player. He's like probably a bottom 3 offensive player on that Philadelphia Phillies team. And he plays center field. He plays a good enough defense, but I think he's an caliber player. Jose Siri, newly New York Met. He's an as well. He's got the power, but for Jose Siri, it's like I would really prefer a guy to not take the monster cuts that he does and try to hit the ball 500 feet every single time and cut down a little bit to increase the contact, to increase the on base, to be a little bit more valuable. Jose Siri swings and misses way too much. The 200 to 215 batting average every year, not ideal for me. He can run, he can throw, he plays a decent center. He needs to get on base a little bit more. Jacob Young in DC, I'm going to be honest, he's trash. It's not necessarily his fault. That's the tendency of a team like the Nationals who are not going to be good. It's not like he was expected to be a great player. He's trash, but that's okay. It's one of those things where I'm not like a generational hater. He's not going to be the answer for them in center field for the foreseeable future, and that's okay. Marlins, Derek Young, trash. I'm sorry, Derek, but that's not personal. I want to make it understood too, and I think I've covered my bases enough on this, but when I'm putting guys in the trash category, it's not personal. It doesn't mean I could be better than them. In the grand scheme of all these guys, I would slide them. O'Neal Cruz. O'Neal Cruz, super talented. Tons of raw tools. He swings and misses too much. He was so bad defensively at shortstop, but he was such a freak athlete, decided to move him out to center field. Until he cleans his act up in terms of more consistent on defense, better throws, more accurate throws, better reads. Obviously, that's going to take time as you move to center field. Less swing and miss and more consistent offensive production. He can slide up into the good or all-star or even elite category. He's one of the very few on this list in the category that has elite as a possibility. He hits the ball 120 miles an hour like 10 times every year, and everyone freaks out about it, as they should, because that is a absolute rocket. He'll have games where he hits 120 mile an hour line drive single, but he's 1 for 4 with 3 Ks. It's like, do we like it? Do we not? We need a little bit more consistency from O'Neal Cruz. He's for now, has the capability at some point, if he gets it all together, clicking at the same time, to literally be an elite center. Pete Crow Armstrong, PCA. Interesting one here because he's super fast. He's going to be a really good defensive fly ball tracking center fielder. And because of that, I would say that'll put him into a different kind of category because he plays defense as a primary focus and contribution for his spots in center field. Offensively, he's going to be a singles, doubles, line drive guy. He's not going to be Mr. Power. He also doesn't have a phenomenal arm. I'm putting PCA into the category, but he's not trash. He has the tools, and he's young, and he can develop, as time goes on. Garrett Mitchell. Garrett Mitchell, to me, another toolsy guy. He was drafted really high. He's been good for them. He missed a ton of time last year, a ton of time. It's hard because he has tools, man, but he's He's not good yet. He's not good yet. That's okay. He's not good. And listen, I'm going off of like mostly vibes. I don't have every single one of these guys' metrics, numbers, data points memorized down to a T. Based on what I know of these guys, their contributions to the squad. Anyways, this is TJ Friedel. I just want to make sure because I thought he had facial hair, but I guess he doesn't. TJ Friedel on the Cincinnati Reds. He's an interesting cat because he's not very big. He hits left-handed. The pop is not insane, but it doesn't need to be when you play in that ballpark. I think he's got the tools. I think he is really kind of in between both of these. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and put him in the good category because I remember him hitting at the top of that team's order, and especially this year, the Reds are expected, at least in my opinion, to be a little bit better. I'm going to put him in the good category. Victor Scott on the Cardinals. Super toolsy, super fast, good contact hit tool, but in the meantime, he's in the category. Has the ability to very easily advance himself to the good or all-star category. But for now, he's Jackson Merrill. Jackson Merrill, yes, I'm a Padres fan, but I simply do not care. He is elite. You go back and look at his stats. He was the 88th percentile or better in all three of the batting, fielding, and base running categories. He is elite. I think by most metrics, he was probably the best center fielder last year in all of baseball. Not just with like the intangible tools and like sprint speed and arm strength and all this, like his actual numbers were probably amongst the best of everybody. I think he's ranked number 12 in the MLB top 100. Like that's a huge, huge jump for a guy like that. So he's in the elite category. And I think he's probably the best center fielder in baseball as it stands right now. Now that obviously leaves things open for a guy like Acuna. If he were to play center again, I think he may be moving off center into right, like Trout moving off center into right. So that opens the door. I think when it's all said and done, potentially this year, you've got these top 4 guys going to be the all-star center fielders. Bellinger, Julio, Jackson Merrill, Michael Harris. We will see. We also have a couple more left. We're not going to jump to conclusions. Jung-Hoo Lee. Interesting cat as well in San Francisco. He came over from Korea. He got hurt pretty early last year, missed all of last season pretty much. I think he's good, though. I think he is a good player. Again, this is based on potentially some speculation. Small sample size we had last year, but when he did play, he actually put up some pretty good numbers in his small sample size. So I've got him in the good category. I think he's better than all these other guys below in the category, so I got him in good. Tommy Edman. All right, Tommy Edman's an all-star, and I don't really care what anybody has to say. I don't care about what he did in the past. I don't care about his previous experience. If he's playing center field for this LA Dodgers team, hitting at the top of the order, which it seems like he's going to, and everything he did for them last season, regular season, postseason, he's an all-star. He should be an all-star this year. I wouldn't expect him to be, putting up elite stuff just because the pop isn't necessarily there. The arm's not phenomenal, but he's a great athlete. He hits from both sides of the plate. He is a great contributor to that team. He's going to be a big piece of their success this year. And Tommy Edman is in the all-star category. On our last two, we move to Colorado and take Brenton Doyle. Brenton Doyle is a good center fielder. Brenton Doyle, in my opinion, has the best tools of anybody on this page. Pure tools alone. Arm strength, speed, defensive metrics, raw power, the ability to make contact on the barrel of the bat. The problem is he's got to kind of find all of those different tools and pieces and metrics and bring them all together, clicking at the same time. If that happens, if you find a Brenton Doyle week, 2-week, month stretch this year where he has all of his tools linked together and he cuts down on the swing and miss, he starts hitting a little bit more line drive oriented, gap to gap, also including the raw power that he has, Brenton Doyle has the potential to be the best center fielder in Major League Baseball. He's not there yet, and he has to put all that stuff together. But if he does, if you isolate each one of his tools individually, it's top 3 in terms of center field ranking. Arm, top 3. Speed, top 3. Fielding metrics, top 3. Raw power, top 3. Like, he has all the tools. You just got to put it together. And for now, he's good. Has the ability to be an all-star or elite if it comes together at the right time for him. And last but not least, Jake McCarthy. Jake McCarthy on the D-backs, he's a good outfielder as well. He's not He's not an all-star quite yet, and he's not elite, but he's also not trash, right? He's not at the bottom. He's a very good center fielder for that team. He's a good contributor on all sides of the ball. Plays a good defensive center in a big outfield in Arizona. Hits the ball pretty consistently well. And I've got Jake McCarthy in the good category. All in all, center fielders. 1 elite, 4 all-stars. Looks like 8 in the good category, 3 in the trash, and then a flurry of guys in the category. I think this is the best I could possibly do, but you guys let me know how you guys would have sorted this out. Again, if you guys want to check it out more, I think you just go to Tier Maker, the Tier Maker website. You type in MLB into the search bar, or I think you can Jacob Bolanos. Shout out to Jacob for putting this list together with all these different headshots. It does take a lot of time. I've done these lists in the past or made these things in the past. They take a lot of time. So shout out to Jacob, and let me know what you guys think in the comments about this list. I think I got it pretty spot on and accurate. And if you're coming to this list or seeing this video during or after the 2025 season, don't be surprised if you say, oh, how did he know that the American League All-Star center fielders were going to be Bellinger and Julio? The National League All-Star outfielders were going to include Edman, Michael Harris, and Jackson. There's potential for a lot of these guys to make jumps up or down. I think 2-tier jumps down, not common, but can happen. I think more than anything, the most common movement's going to be at the end of the year, 1 tier up, 1 tier down, or stays the same. 2 tiers in any direction, up or down, is pretty hard to do, but it certainly can happen, right? If Brenton Doyle, like I said, goes out and hits 40 homers this year, plays in elite center field, he's up in the elite category. Jackson Merrill has a bad year and hits 220 with 9 home runs. He's down on the good or right? So there's some movement that's potential, but I think this is as good of a list as you can find for center field rankings in terms of these 5 categories of elite, all-star, good, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Be sure to slap a like on it regardless. Engage, let me know. Check me out on social media. And otherwise, catch you guys next time. Peace.